you know, if you're a big public figure, you've got a massive platform, then you can't just always try to remain apolitical on everything and be like, you know, I didn't do anything wrong. I just threw the party. I just gave everyone the alcohol, and then I invited all the people who were there, and then as a result of that, one of those people did bad things, but that's on him. He's not invited anymore, and that's where we leave it, and I walk away. And then it's kind of like, well, you could also use this as an opportunity to explain why that's wrong. This ultimately just really feels like you doing everything in your power to just be like, all right, we're brand safe, we're back. Nintendo is going to keep sponsoring us. Next party, I will give you the details when it comes out. I am going to be completely honest with you. I'm not familiar with Mang0 or a lot of the Smash Brothers scene. 'Tis not my scene. I don't play professional Smash Brothers, the video game. I play friendly Smash Brothers because I like Smash Brothers. It's a fun game. Play with friends, you know? I think it's a great video game series. Been playing it since the 64 days, all right? So I'm not here to say Smash Brothers is the problem. It's actually the solution. It's awesome. Smash Brothers is great. It's just there's so many times when people who are in the Smash Brothers community turn out to be massive-ass creeps and weirdos. So I did see the video clip in question. There was a party that was done between a bunch of streamers, and one of those streamers happened to be a guy called Mang0, who is a professional, I guess, Smash Brothers player. That's his thing. Again, not my world, not familiar. But what he was doing in that video was disgusting and abhorrent. And honestly, once again, one of those things where it's really disappointing that more people weren't stopping him in the act. After the fact, oh, so many brave people can come forward and be like, oh, I'm deeply disturbed by, you know, the way that he was acting, and he shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. Then stop him. Then tell him that someone, all it would have taken was one person to tap him on the back of the wrist and been like, hey, buddy, you're making everyone uncomfortable. This is sexual harassment and or sexual assault. You need to get the fuck out and stop that. Like, again, something that people can do in the moment rather than after the fact be like, hey, by the way, I just want to say that I am so against everything that happened. It's just, it's not cool, man. You know, all that kind of stuff. It easily could have been something in which, again, you stick yourself out there and you might have an uncomfortable conversation, but hey, you were doing your part to try and, you know, make the entire situation way less volatile and disgusting if a creep is going to be creep and you know, creep out. It's not specific to the Smash community, it's just bad apples. Yeah, fair enough. Then all shame, I guess, goes to Mang0 in that situation. Now, after the fact, because this was a party put on by a super huge famous streamer called Ludwig, there has been criticism of Ludwig. Why did you allow that to happen? Ludwig has said that he is now banned from his events. He's not allowed to come around anymore, and he doesn't support anything that took place. It's very inappropriate. You know, shame on him kind of stuff. And then other people came out saying, well, you were providing the liquor. You didn't do anything at the time. What's going on there? I think criticism is warranted. I think that if you are going to be creating an environment for people, especially other streamers and content producers and stuff like that, then it's also beholden on you to make those situations safe and to make the people who are there feel comfortable.
I've tried to make this video about 7 times.
Now, this is a content creator, Heroes TV, who apparently is being copyright struck by Ludwig for using footage of the event to criticize it, which I'm going to say this first and foremost. I have nothing against Ludwig. He seems to be someone who, in terms of all the big mainstream content creators, is not on the, you know, right-wing side and descending into it or anything like that. He seems to have a pretty level head in terms of how he talks about this kind of stuff. But that doesn't change the fact that, hey, big content creators, this includes Ethan Klein, and this includes, you know, in this case, Ludwig, don't sue the smaller content, or don't copyright strike the smaller content creators who are being critical of you. You can either ignore the criticism or you could respond to it, but certainly trying to silence them is not the way forward. It basically sets the disgusting precedent that anyone who's going to be using even small clips of your material to criticize the things you've done are worthy of a copyright strike or a ban or you know, a lawsuit.
And each time I tried to upload it, I have had a copyright notice from whatever the Ludwig people are, the clip people that do the clips. It seems as though I'm getting copyright strike for using clips, so I'm just going to talk about what I feel with the Ludwig Mang0 situation. I don't know if you guys recall the aspect of what Ludwig is. Ludwig hosts Burial Cart. Ludwig is a very popular streamer, one of the biggest streamers on the planet, maybe even the biggest streamer on the planet, who knows. But Ludwig makes a lot of stuff. Now, I want to bring up another issue that I have in general. This is Minx, just the Minx. You don't hear much about Justin Minx anymore. As a matter of fact, it's been quite some time since Justin Minx has done a collaborated with Cutie Cinderella or anything of that variety. And I don't like talking about the actual drama of this, but this is very important to get to my point. So she's no longer anywhere. She's just doing her own stuff. She's no longer doing stuff with Jay Schlatt. She's just gone. She's not with Cutie Cinderella. Cutie Cinderella just the Minx situation 2 years ago. They've completely axed her from the group and no longer associate with her. She does her own stuff. I'm sure. I don't want to kind of get me. So I haven't seen her in a year. She still streams on Twitch. She still is on Twitch. You can see her streaming on Twitch actively. She still is there. Pretty sure she still does regular streams. She streamed last month, recent broadcast last month. So she has her eczema is back. So by all means, I'm pretty sure she's still making money by doing the streaming content in that variety. But the recent situation with Mang0 shows that they don't care if the person is drunk. They don't care about the aspect of drinking. They love having fun of being drunk, and being drunk is a fun thing to do, especially if you can drink responsibly, which is a stupid statement in its general statement. They even state multiple times, well, Mang0's an alcoholic, and he's drunken much more. He's been way worse than just humping heads, so he's done worse things, is what I've heard. Because during the clips that I was going to show, they talk about how Mang0 was 10 times worse before, how he was at a 0.25, I believe, with his blood alcohol content, when the legal limit to drive is only 0.08. It's a whole thing. It's like an entire mess up diaspora. And Ludwig, I want to put his face on screen so we can actually look at the person that I'm talking about while I speak about him. Ludwig, you sir, you right here, you man, you human. I do not think you are a bad person. I think you are a business-oriented person. I think you care about the business of what you run. I think you care about making sure that everybody around you is safe. I think you care about running fun events. I think you want to make sure that—
yeah, and also, like, it sucks because the bar is so fucking low. But yeah, there's a big difference between people who are actively using their platform to target, you know, marginalized groups, like HARASSMENT, right? Like when HARASSMENT just goes on every day and does a stream, and then he's basically going to talk about how he thinks that people who are trans have, like, mental issues, and it's because they were abused and all that kind of shit. He is actively using his massive-ass platform to make people's lives worse. There's a difference between that and people who are kind of indifferent to what they consider to be political issues for the most part, until things are very, very serious and it's impossible to ignore. But for the most part, even as these massive champions of the industry, as big as they get, they are businessmen, right? And in the case of Ludwig, yeah, he's got an empire. He's one of the world's biggest streamers, and as a result of that, you know, one of the events that he was responsible for throwing featured a Super Smash Brothers player, Mang0, who was sexually assaulting women on camera at the event. And after the fact has to now talk about that, and hasn't really, I would say, adequately addressed what actually took place.
You don't get canceled or in trouble for just existing and having a fun time. I know that you can't keep up with every small bit of drama that goes on within your life, but I also know that you don't consider these people your friends. I know that you don't consider these people close to you your friends. I want to look at you again. I apologize. I know you don't consider these people to be in any way, shape, or form your actual compatriots, people that you would actually go out of your way for. I'm 100% positive that you would not bring Mang0 back on stream because of the incident. He has been dropped by his esports organization, probably in a financial move based on Cloud9, based on what they get from him, which is basically nothing because the Smash scene is actually very low. But Mang0 was getting into the upper echelon of getting closer into a Ludwig crew, but he is an alcoholic and he went a bit too far upon humping heads and being generally a nuisance and actively harassing people in a very provocative manner. I am aware of that. I see that. However, Ludwig, you knew of his behavior. You knew this. You already knew how he was. You knew how he operated. You knew what he was in general. You knew what he was doing. So same way everybody knew about Justin Minx. Same way Cutie Cinderella knew about Justin Minx and her drinking habits. It has happened multiple times before. You are aware of how she is. You are aware of how Mang0 is. And when somebody doesn't fit your criteria or critique, you push them and ask them out. You don't advocate to seek them help. You don't even try to defend them. You just say, oh yeah, you defend them before someone calls them out. You say, oh, he's always this. Oh, she always does this. It's disgusting to have this be the norm, is what I'm saying. It's disgusting to have this be the regular thing that you do all the time, is what I'm saying. It's annoying to have this happen multiple times, because this is the situation that's happened once before, but this time with a different sex, a different gender. this is what's happening. It happened with a woman before, now it's happening with a man. Difference being is simply, fourth, you're being called out for it. You're being actively called out for it. And now everybody is saying, oh man, how could Ludwig let this happen? How could you let this happen? I don't think you let this happen, Ludwig. I don't think this was a regular thing you wanted to happen. I don't think you want your situations or events to actually be bad. I don't think you want people to actually be uncomfortable at your events. I don't think, for any stretch of the word, that you want people to be ruined at the events. I'm 100% positive that you yourself care about the longevity of your business, because you are responsible for a lot of people's life.
I used to watch this guy from Monster Hunter videos. Oh, cool. I've watched him for some, deep dives into LGBTQ plus content, especially, from the perspectives that I usually don't have myself. Let me just look this up. Someone's asking, like, is there any articles on it? It's in Sports Illustrated. My God. Esports are now sports. Mang0 banned from future Ludwig events after Mario Kart controversy. Update. June 24th, Smash Tournament Supernova has issued a statement banning Mang0 from its next event. The Smash Pro released a statement on Twitter supporting the ban decision. Cloud9 has officially released Mang0 from the organization following an internal evaluation centered around his behavior at Ludwig's event and the streams taking place during it. Joseph Mang0 Marquez might be one of the greatest Super Smash Bros. Melee players of all time, but his actions outside of the game have often put him under fire for a number of reasons. His most recent incident, however, have seen him banned from all future events run by Ludwig and his company, which includes many of the largest Melee players in recent years. During his most recent event with Mario Kart World Cup, a Nintendo Switch 2 spin on the classic Mario Kart streams, Ludwig invited 23 other creators to join him for drinks and races while giving away consoles to the viewers. Because drinking was directly involved, chaos ensued not long after the stream started. However, at multiple points during the broadcast, Mang0 openly harassed multiple streamers with inappropriate physical action, and it brought him under fire. If you watch the video, you'll see him, humping, trying to hump people's heads and humping their hats and stuff like that. Following Mang0's actions on stream, where Melee players said inappropriate action towards multiple streamers, Ludwig confirmed he would no longer be inviting Mang0 to any events put on by his company, Mogul Moves. This includes streamer-centric events like Mario Kart, World's Greatest Streamer, Super Smash Bros. Tournaments. So this was the statement.
So I feel really bad about that. And, I reached out to anyone who...
It's Melee Day.
Who I felt might have felt uncomfortable, and talk to them. But also, and I already told Mang0 this, I'm no longer inviting Mang0 to Mogul Moves events. Because, it's a privilege to go to an event, man. Like, the whole point of an event is, it's a fun thing to do, have a good-ass time. And if somebody appearing jeopardizes somebody else having a good time, that just can't be a thing. Now I see a lot of dialogue on broader implications. I'm only worried about my team, my events, you know what I'm saying? I don't speak for the Melee community. I'm not championing any other action. I'm
my brand. Yeah, ultimately. I mean, if you're throwing in a drinking event and you're bringing people, especially one individual who happens to be a known alcoholic, and then part of the event is that people are going to be drinking aggressively. I want to stipulate, by the way, there's a lot of people who have gotten drunk, myself included, who do not sexually assault people when we're wasted. There's a lot of people who don't, physically beat people up when they get drunk. Then there's people who get drunk and then they start fights. There's people who get drunk and then they steal things or smash property. Obviously, being intoxicated on alcohol is not an excuse for anyone's behavior. You're still responsible for your own behavior, including getting intoxicated in the first place. So there's that. In addition to that, though, the idea that you can throw one of these kind of events and then be as a centerpiece of it, have drinking games be a very prominent part, and then be shocked that things can turn out profoundly fucked up when they are publicly broadcast events. You're essentially throwing a TV show. I can tell you from firsthand experience from back in the old high school days that if there was someone who was a known creep or abuser, that it became pretty quick that you would just never invite that person to anything, obviously, because you're just oh yeah, that guy's a fucking monster, and who wants him around? He's just gonna make everyone feel uncomfortable. Mang0 to stop drinking immediately after inappropriate actions. According to Ludwig, Mang0 owned up to his actions and agreed with the streamer's decision to bar him from attending future events. He called himself a drunk dumbass, but acknowledged that he can't use being drunk as an excuse to make stupid and embarrassing decisions. I couldn't sleep. I feel like I let so many people down. Talked to a few friends and realized I have a problem. Everyone has coddled me for so long and kind of looked the other way when it came to my drinking. Don't let anyone feel bad for me or defend me. Sorry to everyone. I'm a fuck up. I can and will do better. Regardless of what he does next, this is another instance of Mang0's drinking directly impacting his ability to play events or stream. As a result, he will lose out on the ability to compete in future mogul streaming events. There's no further action having been taken.
Livelihoods. So you're doing everything to make sure everything is squeaky clean. And I respect that. I do. It's very important. But do you have any friends? Genuinely, do you have any people that you don't consider business compatriots? Do you have people outside of the Twitch diaspora, the Twitch sphere, this Twitch ethos that are actually your friends? I don't know. If everything feels fake, all of it feels fake. You have become corporate and it feels disgusting. It doesn't feel as though I'm speaking to a genuine person anymore. And that's what it's feeling with everything, because as soon as somebody doesn't fit into the status quo criteria, you get rid of them. You know what happens? One of my friends has a bit of a drunken spill and they end up making people uncomfortable. I make them apologize, and I still hang out with the person. It's because I want them to do better, because I don't have any financial incentive to lose or gain here. I don't, because I care about the growth of people. Note that I am some random, worthless, minuscule faction of YouTube. I don't matter at all. I don't. I have 1/20th of your entire audience. I have 1/20th of your entire audience. Maybe even less. I have nothing compared to you. I don't. I have nothing even close. 100,000 subscribers, and that is just dust in the wind compared to the grand scheme of what you operate on a grand scale. And I've been thinking and mugging over this, and I've been thinking about the copyright strikes I got when I tried to actually add context to this video so it'd actually be a better video, but I'm just gonna vent because I'm angry. Ludwig, I think you host amazing work. I think you're funny. I think that you are good looking. I enjoy everything you've put out. I enjoy the way you act like you don't have money when you actively do have money. I enjoy how you are the livelihood of people. I enjoy that you are consistent with content. And even if you're feeling bad, I'm pretty sure you don't take breaks. You suck it up and continue to do it. I enjoy the events you host. I enjoy the esports league that you hosted with the Moist Esports. I enjoy the game show you did with Moist Critical. I enjoy all of it, every single piece of it. I enjoy how you collaborate with RDC. I enjoy the anger you display. I enjoy the aspect of how you clickbait titles and videos. I enjoy how you've set a standard for how the streaming industry could go on. But just because I enjoy all these amazing aspects of what you are does not mean that you are immune to critique. You should value your friends. You should value the people closest to you. You should value people that you want at your events. You should call people out when they do something disgusting, not because people outside of your friend group are calling.
I'm so confused right now. I don't think you need to be a part of any of these communities to, you know, understand what took place. Like, just say you're a person and you throw parties, and at your parties there's a series of people who show up at the parties, and one of the people who shows up at the party gets way too wasted and causes a scene, either by smashing stuff, sexually harassing people, making people uncomfortable, and eventually afterwards it becomes a you know, people find out and they're like, wow, that's really messed up. Take that to the next level where that party is being live broadcast on the internet. So now it's like everyone who goes is aware that this is a live event that is not only being broadcast live, but is also a party for people to witness and watch at their homes, and is also part of your brand and your company and your events. And it's a giveaway of free Switch 2s and, you know, celebrating fighting games and Smash Brothers Melee. And in that, you've invited one of the professional players of Smash Brothers Melee, and that person happens to also, once again, get way too wasted and sexually harass people who are there, making them uncomfortable. Afterwards, I think the extent to which the person who threw the party, Ludwig, is taking responsibility, he's just like, okay, that person's just banned from my events, and that's it. And then I'd say personally for me, you know, if you're a big public figure, you've got a massive platform, then you can't just always try to remain apolitical on everything and be like, you know, I didn't do anything wrong. I just threw the party. I just gave everyone the alcohol, and then I invited all the people who were there. And then as a result of that, one of those people did bad things, but that's on him. He's not invited anymore. And that's where we leave it. And I walk away. And then it's kind of like, well, you could also use this as an opportunity to explain why that's wrong, how people and why people should not behave in that way, why people shouldn't make women feel uncomfortable, especially in spaces where women are frequently preyed upon and are already made to feel uncomfortable, you know, whether that be in professional video game spaces or streaming spaces or all that kind of stuff. That, you know, this ultimately just really feels like you doing everything in your power to just be like, all right, we're brand safe, we're back, Nintendo is going to keep sponsoring us, next party, I will give you the details when it comes out.
And get out and people have an issue with it, but because you yourself recognize an issue, you are excusing bad behavior, and that's what you did for quite some time. And now, because you didn't pull him to the side and tell him not to do it, or at least limit his alcohol consumption because you wanted a better event and you wanted people to get drunk around you, you have now ruined Mang0's life by not giving him a previous intervention before, because it is said by people around you, and also this is a shout out to the people around him that have seen Mang0 10 times worse. 10 times worse. Those people are also at fault. The people that called him out, the Valkyrie, the people of that variety, I'm proud of you. Senna and all those people, whoever was at the event, I'm proud of you for calling it out and actually stating that he was being a nuisance and he was being provocative and making people uncomfortable. That's great. That's great. Very frat boy behavior going on. I'm happy that it's getting snuffed out and not being tolerated. That is outstanding and that is great. But it's going on for far too long. It is going on for far too long. All I heard was excuses during the entire live stream because I saw clips and I said maybe I'm missing some context. So I watched and sat through the entire live stream because I didn't want to mix context, because I refuse to be a headline reader. That's disgusting and I hate that. But I saw the entire thing, and during the entire event, I didn't see Ludwig even talk about it. He was concerned about other aspects of what was going on.
Yeah, and then I guess it just becomes a situation where once it becomes a public thing and once it becomes news, then it's like, oh yeah, no, I'm very against that. That's what I'm saying. I mean, at its core, if you were to ask me for what's my take on all this, intervene in the moment. I know it's hard and that's the most difficult thing, but after the fact, everyone can have the moral clarity of being like, oh yes, I was always against the thing that was taking place. And I'm not saying that like I've always been a hero, I've always been a valiant person who stands in front of the bag. No, everyone's got their moments where you're just kind of watching something happening and then you're like, is this fucked up? This feels fucked up, that kind of stuff. But I'm saying that, like, especially for the person throwing it, by the way, you are essentially a producer, right? Ludwig, in this case, he's a producer who produced an event and it's broadcast live on the internet. So yeah, he does bear more responsibility than most at that event. And if people are coming forward being like, that guy over there is being a creep, he is humping women's heads, he's sexually harassing them, it's making everyone feel uncomfortable, people watching are like, what the fuck is happening? Something needs to be done. Then it's just like, oh yeah, don't worry. And then I'll deal with it later, or I'll make a statement after the fact, or he's banned for life or something like that. It would be a lot better if people in that situation just, you know, did something about it in the moment, kind of thing. And Ludwig was actively pushing more booze on him. Yeah, then that's terrible. You know, that's I think you're basically enabling an alcoholic, and that's what has to be you know, changed ultimately. Is not wait until after someone's been sexually harassed, not wait until after the public finds out about it and they're upset, and then it's like, oh, this might hurt my brand and my bottom line, so I too am upset. I think it's inappropriate. More people should be taking a stance in the moment, and that not just for sexual assaults or harassments, that's just across the board for everything, right? That's in one of the ways in which more people can feel safe getting and attending those kind of events. Because, like, yeah, I would not be surprised if someone is like, I don't want to go to that. I know it would be great for my career and all that, but I have no idea who's going to be there. I don't know if alcohol's going to be involved. I don't know if you know, someone's going to be too drunk, you know, that kind of stuff. And, you know, normalize calling out creeps, regardless of who they are, but, you know, calling out creeps before people become victims. That way, you know, we can protect one another, kind of stuff.
Don't let this happen to you. Go to serfscoffee.com to order the only end-to-end owned indigenous coffee company that delivers blood-free, conflict-free, and cruelty-free beans right to your door. 0% of people who drink serfscoffee.com have exploded spontaneously. By ordering right now, you get 10% off plus free shipping, and it's the best way to enjoy delicious coffee while not exploding. That's serfscoffee.com, serfscoffee.com.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwig, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the funding of our patrons. Head on down to patreon.com/theserfs. That's patreon.com/theserfs.